Hey everybody, I'm Tim Ward and welcome back to Garden Sense. Well, folks, we kicked off the season with our first video last week, and I gotta tell you, it really awoke something in all of you because I was inundated with emails this past week. So we've actually selected 3 emails that we're gonna address here today. So buckle up everybody, let's jump right in. The first question for today is from Scott. Hi Tim, can you apply gallery to garden beds with established Liriope plants? All right, so this is a really good question. The answer is yes, you can use gallery in your garden beds and you can use it around your Liriope plants. Here's the concern though. Those types of plants typically have their leaves when they get long, especially in that mid-summer, will start to get heavy and they'll start to droop and they can actually touch the soil surface. So if you're going to use gallery, you want to kind of stay outside of that drip line of where those leaves are going to come down and touch the soil surface of your garden. If you have the gallery there, what can happen is you can actually just damage the leaves. You're not going to kill the plant, but again, it can damage the leaves and it just won't look as pretty. Now, outside of that drip line is going to be fine. So anything beyond that is going to be okay. You can also put gallery, again, inside that drip line as well. Again, just make sure that you don't get any of those gallery granules on the physical plant itself. So in a situation like this, I would actually gather up all of the leaves, sprinkle a tiny bit around the base of that plant, and then let it fall back down. Again, that should really take care of most of the weeds, but in this particular case, the primary concern is just making sure that those Liriope plants stay healthy and stay beautiful. So as long as you make sure that those leaves aren't touching any of the garden bed surface where the gallery was put, you'll be just fine. The next question is from Joe. Tim, which of the Turf Trust Triple Play products do I apply first, second, and so on? Can I apply all at once, or how long do I wait to apply the others in between applications? All right, so we get this question every single year, and every single year I address it because we are consistently getting in new customers, which is a good thing. So this is going to be the one time on these videos that I'm going to address it for the 2026 season. It actually does not matter the order in which you put down the fertilizer, gallery, or dimension. It also doesn't matter if you put it all down on the same day. However, the timing is a little bit important in terms of, for example, right now it would be dimension. I wouldn't probably put down dimension just yet. I would probably wait another couple of weeks. Again, simply because you want to make sure that you're putting it down at the optimal time to block out crabgrass. But you can put down Turf Trust fertilizer and gallery today. It doesn't matter if you put gallery down first or if you put the Turf Trust fertilizer down first. And yes, you could put them both down the same day. Then I would wait a couple of days, or a couple of weeks rather, and then I would put down dimension. Now, if you're not going to get any of these products down for another couple of weeks, then believe it or not, yes, you can put the Turf Trust fertilizer, gallery, and dimension down all on the same day. And again, it does not matter the order in which you put it down. For me personally, and this is just the way my brain works, I always put the fertilizer down first, then I put gallery down. Again, we recommend around March 15th for those products. Then I wait a couple of weeks, and then I put dimension down. The last question for today is from Grace. Hi Tim, how do I help my lawn recover from the abundant amount of snow and salt/ice melt that had to be used this year along the driveway areas and ended up on the lawn from shoveling and snow blowing? I was planning to use a lot of Kickstart, but didn't know if there was any other product that might help to neutralize the salt better. So this is a great question to a very, very common problem. Now, the first thing that I would do is actually try and flush out those areas with a lot of water. Just saturate it. Again, we're trying to get those sodium particles out of the soil, and flushing it with water is a great way to do it. The next thing that I would actually use is a product called gypsum. We actually sell it over at Rosen's online, and this will actually help displace the sodium ions that are in the soil. So flush it with a bunch of water, put down the gypsum. From there, you can absolutely use Kickstart. Kickstart is going to really help that root system start taking in nutrition and help the grass recovering. You can obviously also use Turf Truss fertilizer, relative to your regular lawn maintenance. Don't skip over that area in terms of using the Turf Truss. So if you do those 4 things, that should really, really help that grass recover. Sometimes the lawn is just too damaged and it's really not going to recover, or it doesn't recover well. You may just need to consider overseeding at that point. But again, flush it with water, put down gypsum, use Kickstart, and then again, make sure that it's getting plenty of Turf Truss fertilizer as you're fertilizing the rest of the lawn. All right, everybody, just a couple final thoughts before we wrap up this week's video podcast. All right, folks, as a reminder, right now over at rosensonline.com, we have the Turf Truss Triple Play promotion going on. Now, I already mentioned it earlier in this podcast, but again, this is the time of year where you want to put down all 3 of these products. Turf Truss Triple Play has the Turf Truss Lawn Fertilizer in it. It can be the maintenance or it can be the starter. It has Gallery and it has Dimension. Again, these 3 products all need to go down within the next several weeks. So head over to rosensonline.com and pick up the Turf Truss Triple Play. There is a break on the price and you're going to get free shipping. Now, I've been getting a bunch of emails about Plant Truss. People want to know when it was going to be back in stock. Well, it is now back in stock. However, I want to caution everybody so that when they receive their Plant Truss order, they don't freak out and I get a bunch of emails about it, okay? There was an issue with the manufacturing of the bags, not the product itself. The product itself is fine. So, in order to ensure that we could actually get you the Plant Truss, everything was actually packaged in what are called sleeve bags. They're just white bags. And inside that bag, you'll actually see a pocket that contains all of the label information for Plant Truss. But again, it's not going to look like that pretty orange and white bag that you are accustomed to seeing because there was a manufacturing problem with the bag itself. The product is fine. There was no issue at all manufacturing the product. It was just the bag. So it was an issue of either wait another 6 to 8 weeks till we can solve that problem, or ProTruss decided that they could go ahead and just put it in a sleeve bag and make sure that you can buy it. So when you receive it and it's in this white, just kind of boring looking bag with a little plastic sleeve and the contents of the label stuck inside that sleeve, it is the same exact product that it's always been, so don't worry about any of that. But again, I just wanted to make sure because, again, I know how everybody works. Anytime there's any type of a packaging change to a product that raises concerns that maybe something's changed in the product, it's still Plant Truss. I still use it. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It was just a bag problem, and instead of waiting until we got the bag problem solved, we made sure that it was put into a sleeve bag so we can get that product to you. Folks, I also want to remind you that if you have questions about anything related to your lawn, to your gardens, your indoor plants, your outdoor plants, please don't hesitate to send an email directly to me. You can send it to tim@rosensonline.com. Give me a couple of days, but I promise that if I receive your email, I will respond. Folks, thank you so much for all of the time that you've spent with us today. It really does mean a lot. I hope you folks have an amazing rest of the week. God bless.